Hey guys, Comet here. Welcome back to Alchemy Factory. Now, a lot has changed since the last time I played. I've been slowly working on things in the background, and progress has really slowed down compared to the early game. But I just wanted to get this video out there. This is going to be more of a housekeeping type video. I'm not actually going to be building anything. Before I lose half of you, don't click away. I've got a spreadsheet. I'll leave a link to this in the description, and it'll also be included in my Discord. This just has a few tabs on it so far. Still a work in progress, but the important tab is the Blueprint tab. We will come back to this. I should really have titled this episode the I Rebuilt Everything episode, rather than the one a few episodes ago, because I really have rebuilt everything. Not just the factory structure, but also the blueprints. I have a whole different list of blueprints now, all included on the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet will have all of the up-to-date blueprints. But what sent me down this rabbit hole was this commenter who pointed out my upgrades. I put a few into logistics efficiency back at the beginning of the series, and then just kind of forgot about it. So all of my designs are calibrated to like a 2-to-1 ratio, which means to preserve ratios within all the blueprints I had previously made, every point I put into factory efficiency would be equivalent to 2 points in logistics efficiency, which is okay for a while, but once you start getting into these infinite upgrades, then it starts to become really inefficient, because instead of spending 2 points to upgrade the entire factory, I have to spend 3 points. So from now on, I don't have the points actually unlocked yet. I'll be doing that in the next episode. But moving forward, everything will be evenly upgraded, and all of the factories will have that new ratio. And I also think it makes my blueprints more accessible, because upgrading these evenly, I think, is a more common tactic people use. Then there was also an update to Discord, which broke all of the blueprints I had previously archived. It was doing something weird with the PNG files, so they weren't working for people. And so I deleted all of those, because they weren't working anyway. They were working. I think the update happened like back at the beginning of April. So I finally came up with a workaround. The PNG needs to be compressed and saved as a zip, and then to make things easy to find, I put them all into the spreadsheets under all the different categories. So the point distribution and the Discord update kind of forced me to just redo my whole blueprint system, and I think it's a much better system now. The last thing I want to touch on is the new steam boiler and steam heating pad. This essentially lets you decouple your furnaces from your internal builds, and it functions exactly like the thermal extractor does now, where all of the liquids can be consolidated on a single floor. Steam is now considered a liquid, and pipes have infinite throughput, so fuel essentially has infinite throughput now. The steam heating pad just replaces the furnace. You connect it up to a steam pipe, and the boiler then sits on top of the furnace like the other machinery would. Its output is piped then to all of the consumers, the steam heating pad, and that just simplifies builds a little bit. So I will be putting steam boilers and steam heating pads on blueprints going forward for tier 7 and higher. And what this will allow me to do is, instead of having this fuel line here go up to all the floors, I can replace this belt with a pipe. So instead of having a fuel belt, I'll have a fuel pipe of steam, and all of that will be made where all of those liquids are being made, up on the 9th floor. So up here, with the other thermal extractors going into the pipes, I can have dedicated fuel builds up here that just turn money into fuel, and then using the boiler, I can turn that fuel into steam, and then very easily just pipe it down through the piping network to hit all of the floors. Now, the way I'm keeping track of all of that is on this Consolidated Factories tab. Right now, I only really have one thing using liquids, but I do have a new column for steam now. So if I have a build that has a fuel requirement, I can send it steam instead. So the last thing I'll cover here is the layout of the spreadsheet. I've got a fuel table here. So there's 2 different coke powders, and that's just because of the 2 different game stages where you might build these in. Game stage 5, that is before you unlock the enhanced grinder. But you do need some coke powder at that point, so I have a blueprint for that. And then once you do unlock the enhanced grinder, I have another coke powder blueprint for that stage. And then these are color-coded just based on the color within this picker here. I literally just sampled the color and put it into the spreadsheet. And so this corresponds to game stage 6 because that's color 6. So it may look a little arbitrary, but it's based on the colors in the game here. And so this click me link will just download the zipped blueprint file that is archived in the Discord channel, and then you can just save it into your blueprint folder. So it should be pretty easy to find exactly what you're looking for. I tried to make this as organized as possible. There is still a lot of stuff that's pending. I haven't done much with jewelry. I'm not going to bother making one for turquoise. It's literally just one thing. I believe in you. And then I am playing around a little bit with this idea of like a combinational blueprint system where rather than making one giant blueprint for Saturns and Mars and maybe even growth potions, because it requires so much input material, it would be a giant blueprint, and it's easier to stamp down a bunch of little blueprints than it is one giant blueprint. And so over here in this combinational table, I list out all of the blueprints back from over on this side that you could string together in theory to then make the final product. So again, I just wanted to make this video to show that I am still making progress on this lovely factory here. Progress is just slowing down. That's why I wasn't able to get the video out earlier. But in the next episode, along with more blueprints, I want to get into these jewelry items here, pocket watches and clockwork birds. That'll finish off level 6, and then I can start working on the level 7 stuff. So just a quick little update video, no actual build progress. If you'd like to grab that spreadsheet, I'll leave a link to it in the description. I'll also leave a link to my Discord, where you could also then pick up the spreadsheet and all of the archived blueprints. I don't think you actually need to be a member of the Discord channel to get the links to work within the spreadsheet. I haven't tested that. But either way, it should be pretty easy for you to find exactly what blueprint you're looking for now, rather than scrolling through the texts of all the channels. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode where we start building again.